Okay, so my favorite poem, Invictus by William Henley, is in here. And I love it. My mom memorized it, she embroidered it, and so, I can't say that word. She put it on a scroll, and then my sister and I memorized it, and we love it, and it's kind of like a family theme, even though we didn't write the poem, obviously. It's like our poem. And, here, I will quote it for you. And my sister will yell at me if I mess it up. It goes, stay awake, kitty. It goes, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. Out of the fell clutches of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Beyond the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds me and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Oh, so pretty. And what I thought was interesting is where this poem is at. So there's Invictus. I never knew that someone else wrote a poem. If I can aim, there we go. Dorothea Day basically wrote a poem, and I don't know if she wrote it before Invictus or after, but basically it's kind of it's religious, and it's basically saying that I'm not the master of my soul, Jesus Christ is the master of my soul. So I almost think it's like a response to this poem, but I really don't know. Wouldn't it be interesting if Invictus was a response to this poem? So I'm gonna have to Google it and find out. I have no idea, but this is why this is one of my favorite books, because I find poems that I love, and then find poems I'm like, really? I had no idea, like that one. And my brother Joe was the one that told me I should read this book here. Down here I have a lot of biographies or autobiographies. This is a really memorable autobiography. A Child Called It. It's about a child that survived horrific child abuse. And, you know, he grew up and wrote about it, and it's an eye-opener. It's a good book. Okay, now that I'm sad and depressed, I shall move over here. These are young adult books. You know, some I enjoyed reading when I was a kid, like the Sweet Valley High books or the Choose Your Own Adventure. I just love them. I pulled out a few to show you my favorites and tell you you gotta read them. The Secret of Nim. You must read this book if you have not ever read it. Bridge to Terabithia. My childhood, even my adulthood, is a whole lot like everything that that they experience in this book. And I don't want to say too much other than that it has a very sad ending, but there's a lot of wisdom in this book, and I love it. I love it, I love it. Yeah. There, down here are the books that Crystal at work gave to me through a secret friend thing. I only read the first one, and I'm supposed to read all of them this summer, so I will do that. They are romance novels, and this guy and girl, and the one that I read, can turn into like wildcat in the jungle, and this I cannot tell you more than that because, well, I don't know, my niece and my nephew could be watching, and some books should just not be talked about in detail. True story. Okay, and down here, more romance novels. My favorite romance novel, where is it? Right here. Witchfire by Anya Bast. Meow. Yeah. Okay, this video is gonna be so long. And I don't want to edit. I don't want to edit it out. I just want to upload it and be done with it. Let's go over here. So I majored in comparative religion. It should be no surprise that I have a lot of books on basically every kind of religion that's out there. My two favorite books. One would be the King James Version of the Bible. Specifically this one because my grandpa gave it to me. And the King James Version, even though it's not the most accurate, to me, you know, it's like the most poetic. And the first poem I think I ever memorized was Psalms 23. Let's see if I remember that one. Oh no, oh no. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leadeth me beside still water. He restoreth my soul. He leads me beside cool waters. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. Oh my gosh, I forgot it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in front of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Yeah, if you get, like, I don't know, more modern versions of the Bible, like the NIV, it loses all its poetry, and it's just, yeah, I like that old time language. It's nice. And look at this here. This is a little thing that my friend from my childhood knitted for me, Davina Judd. I still have it after all these years. Yeah, so we got the Book of Mormon. I'm gonna have to fix that later. Just like the Apocrypha. We have the Quran, a couple copies of the Quran, some books about Judaism. General, we got some Native American stuff down here. Books just about religions in general, like comparing religions. And we got some books on philosophy down here. I like this book quite a lot, The Little Prince. It's, you know, more like a novel, but it's filled with philosophy. And then, ooh, it's dark. How symbolic. The dark books are in the dark. I highly recommend that everybody, even if it offends you, that you read the Satanic Bible by Anton Szandor LaVey, because it's something that you may not think that it was. You should read it. You should go find out. You'd be surprised about how sane it really is. And then there's some insanity in it too. But yeah, some Crawley there. And then on the bookshelf next to this, I got the Bhagavad Gita, some Hinduism stuff up there, mythology. The Power of Myth, I love, by Joseph Campbell. I had to do a paper on it when I was in college, and the professor on the paper, let me rant. I will find this paper sometime. I was so mad. The professor on the paper said, "Did you really write this?" Like I would just turn something in that I didn't write. Hello. So on the one hand, I was like, either he thinks it's so good that I couldn't possibly write it, or he thinks I'm just somebody that plagiarizes, and yeah, I don't know. But I did get 100% an A, but how could he put that on the paper? Did you write this? I was so angry for such a long time. Okay. Anthropology, got some geography, some history. Don't really have any favorites there. I guess the stuff from Jamaica has a special place in my heart because it's a place I went to visit to go and student teach for a little bit. I got some grammar stuff, some mathematics. This book on math I absolutely love, because this was one of the math classes I actually did very well in and got an A instead of like a B or C or worse. And I like it because it presents mathematics in such a way where it relates it to like history, it relates it to art, it talks about fractals, and this was the first time that I was like, oh, that's what math is, because it was something I could relate to, and I liked it. And then down here are all my teaching books. I got my Spanish and my Greek book over there too, Spanish books. I think Teaching with Love and Logic was probably the best book I've ever read, because it gives advice to teachers on how to teach with love and logic. So instead of being authoritarian, you're more authoritative, and you show empathy, and you lead by example, and instead of, yelling, "This is the way it needs to be done because I said so," you use logic to get kids to think about consequences and all of that. So I think it's pretty cool. And this is the last bookshelf. I wonder how long this video is so far. This is all my witchy, pagany books. And then down here are my kid books. I have everything from tarot to like spells and astrology to crystal healing, history of witchcraft. I pulled out a few books that were my favorites. This one, Grimoire for the Apprentice Wizard. It's a nice general like introduction to every aspect of wizardry, and I especially like it because of grade school. I am a student at grade school, and I love it because learning is awesome. And this one is really interesting, the Element Encyclopedia of 5,000 spells, because it's not like a book that you should open up and try all this stuff with. Like, it even says that it's just like an encyclopedia of every spell that could ever be. Not that there is any promise that any of that stuff works, but it's a good packet of like information. I don't know, I just like it. It's interesting. And the Book of Wizardcraft, this is more like if you have a child and they're a fan of Harry Potter and they want to do things that are crafty and stuff, they can do it. And what's cool about this is that it incorporates mythology and a little bit of history, and it's really not like a book on Wicca or anything like that, but you'll see some commonalities between that and Wicca too, so it's interesting. Down here, I got my Girl Scout books, a whole lot of kid books that I bring to school sometimes, and I had to pull out my favorites. And there's a lot, so I'll talk about them quickly. And sadly, some of my favorites I cannot even take to the school. Like this one, To Everything There Is a Season. It's because this is from the Bible. It's absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite passages from the Bible ever. To everything there's a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. You guys may know it's a song too. Is it the Birds or something that seen it? But it has pictures from every culture, and it's just a beautiful message. It's just a complete picture of life and how human beings experience life. But I can never read it in school. Another book I love, Halloween Circus. Oh, I gotta change the battery pack soon. Oh no. Oh no. I love it. It's a fold-out book. It's a nice little cute poem about Halloween, but I cannot read it because it's about Halloween, and where I work we can't talk about holidays. Little Rabbit Foo-Foo I like just because the kids crack up laughing. It's a different version on the Little Bunny Foo-Foo. It's kind of violent, but ironically enough, this is totally acceptable to read to kids, just not the other ones. Violent book? Okay. Where the Wild Things Are. It's a classic. Everybody should know it. The Velveteen Rabbit. I love it. This, my dad used to read to us. Not this exact copy, but I got my own copy. And if you ever heard me say a silly story that makes no sense, it's because I was influenced by this book as a kid. For example, and if the puppy dog doesn't wiggle his tail so hard that he knocks over the milk bottle when it's trying to slide down the doormat, I shall have the pleasure next of telling you the story of Uncle Wiggily and the Freckled Girl. It's cute. Love You Forever makes me cry. The kids wonder why the heck I'm almost going to cry, but The Rainbow Goblins is a book I grew up with. Every kid I ever read it to, they're just enthralled. Not so much by the story, not for the younger kids, but the pictures. The artwork is absolutely beautiful. And Care for Our World. A lovely message. I like to read this one to Girl Scouts. And I could also read it to the kids at school. Very good message. Cute little pictures. Alright. So that was my bookshelf tour. Very fast, and I'm sorry if this video is very long, but you know, I got a lot of books. Okay, bye. Subscribe.